Hey everyone, it's Antolito, and today we're going to take a look at the Bf-109F. The 109F is a Tier 6 German light fighter. It is characterized as a high-altitude energy fighter, which means it is exceptional in vertical engagements and has the ability to retain energy and maneuver well even at high altitude. The 109F comes in two configurations, that is one with the 20mm wing cannons and one without. The common advice on which configuration to choose usually rests on whether you're in a flight or not. I think the average person will say if you're in a flight, add the wing cannons because you have flight mates to clear your tails if needed, and if you're flying solo, just stick with the machine gun and hub cannon so you have enough maneuverability to clear your own tails. I would actually argue that the best configuration is the hub cannon and machine guns without the wing cannons, regardless of whether you're solo or if you're in a flight. The 109F's job should be to win high altitude engagements, in particular shooting down Mustangs. This plane has the ability to climb high, very high actually, and still perform very well, retain energy, and maneuver pretty well. With skilled flying and an energy advantage, you can beat Mustangs at their own game at high altitude, and that's probably the only plane in Tier 6 that can make that qualification. It would be a shame to throw away that capability just for the extra firepower that the wing cannons give you. If you're looking for a plane with lots of firepower and a decent altitude profile, stick with the German heavies or the German Focke-Wulf line. If you're flying the 109 series and the 109F in particular, go with the lighter armament and rule the skies at high altitude. Your priority in every match should be to win high altitude engagements with Mustangs, German heavies, and other 109Fs. Jealously guard your altitude and your energy. Don't waste it diving down on an enemy who doesn't pose a threat to you at high altitude or just the first enemy that comes into your sights. Save it for the targets that you need to take out, and those again are the Mustangs and the other heavies. Once you've won the high altitude engagements and the only enemies that are left are medium altitude and low altitude planes, you're pretty much set up for a victory. Your vertical capabilities in this plane will put pretty much anything that's not a high altitude fighter or a heavy to shame. You always have the ability to escape into the vertical, you'll have the ability to energy fight with the best of them, and you're really going to find out that this plane can just dominate low altitude and mid altitude aircraft. One thing the 109F is not is a boom and zoom plane. While your guns are capable, they are not high powered. If you try to strictly boom and zoom, you're going to find out that you don't do a whole lot of damage per pass. Instead of trying to fly into a furball or set up an engagement where you hit and run, you want to use your capabilities as an energy fighter to stick on your target's tail and put gunfire into them over a sustained period of time. Your cannon does good damage, but it's going to overheat relatively fast, whereas your machine guns you can fire pretty much all day long. Once you've stuck to somebody's tail and you're within 300 meters, those machine guns are going to do plenty of damage, even if your hub cannon's overheated. You might as well stick back there and use even just the machine guns to rack up damage. If you load incendiary ammunition in them, all the better. You'll be able to set fires, which is really important for trying to take down heavy fighters and ground attack aircraft. You're going to find that this plane can do just about everything well, short of a turn and burn style. You are going to have to rely on your piloting skills. You don't have the firepower to fall back on to just blow planes out of the sky like, say, a German heavy. And you don't have the overwhelming speed and climb to just blow somebody away in a vertical or horizontal engagement. You're going to need to work with your energy management, make smart maneuvers. But if you do, you're going to be incredibly hard to catch and incredibly capable for dealing out damage and getting kills. Now let's take a look at an example of the 109F's amazing vertical ability. Now in this clip here, I'm going to beat a 109Z in a vertical engagement. That's right, beating a German heavy one tier higher than me in a vertical engagement, even though the fact that he's got 30 seconds of boost compared to 20 on this fighter. Not only does the 109F outperform in the vertical, it also takes 0 damage while doing so. Of course, there's a price to pay for this ability, and as mentioned before, it's the firepower. You're totally capable with the guns on this, but you're going to see that when fighting a heavy fighter one tier higher, they've got a lot of hit points, and your guns are going to overheat before you kill them. You're going to need quite a bit of time in order to take them down. Thankfully, your plane has the capability to hang with pretty much any plane in tier and even some planes above your tier. You can hang on their tail and get plenty of time to put your gunfire into them. Worst case scenario with a heavy that you're having trouble killing, you'll at least force them down to the deck at some point in desperation. Now, you don't have to chase them like I do in this video if you have low altitude friends who can finish the kill for you. But if you want to get the kill, or the situation permits that there's no longer anyone at higher altitude, you might as well chase them down to the deck and finish them off. At the end of the day, the 109F is a serious contender for best plane in tier. I say that even considering that the Mustangs have been the king of tier 6, but I think the 109F is ready to depose them. Thanks for watching and happy hunting.